Every HR person is looking for a better scheme to measure employee performance, and the most common structure for measuring employee performance is a 5-level scale. Sometimes there's 3 levels, sometimes there's 4 levels. I've seen as many as 8 levels. And so let's just pretend we are using the typical 1 through 5. And I know you're thinking we don't use numbers. When I say 1 through 5, I mean the 5 different levels. So you might have the top level could be called outstanding or outperforming. The middle level, you could say solid performer or meeting expectations. So that's what we're talking about, but I just want to simplify it and use the numbers 1 through 5. So first of all, let's take a look at what performance is, and if you had seen an earlier screencast about the employee performance continuum, it is a visual model that represents the two parts of employee performance. So on the vertical axis, we have responsibilities, skills, and goals, and this is really about what the person accomplishes. It's the results that they get. And we have people that are on the high side, so they're above this mid-level line here, and people who are on the low or the grow side. Low means that the person is not tracking up. They're stuck in the lower left-hand corner, and they're not making any progress. Grow means that the person is new to the position, and with time and training, we can see them tracking up. So that's the difference between low and grow. The other aspect of performance is behavior, and again, low, grow, and high. When we think about behavior in our organizations, most of us have some sort of a competency model or as success factors or performance factors, and sometimes they are pulled out separately from the performance review, and sometimes they're buried in the performance review, and I bet most of the people in your organization can't even name them because the performance review sees light of day about once a year. So those are the things like communication, teamwork and collaboration, accountability, customer focus, things of that nature. And so what we're looking to have is most people headed towards the upper right-hand corner. You would say this person in the very top right-hand corner is my A player. And so anybody in the top right-hand corner, they're meeting the high expectations. In the lower right, this could be the person who's new to the job and they're tracking up. Or it could be the person who's been in the job for quite some time. They've had access to training and support and mentoring, and they're still below this mid-level line here. Good interpersonal skills, but they're not getting the job done. And then we go to the upper left-hand corner where we have the person who is getting the work done. See, they're getting the results. They're above the mid-level line here, but their behavior is somehow disruptive. And then the person in the lower left, and again, I always say that's the person that forgot to tell us that they were retiring. And so this person is neither getting the work done nor are they behaving in a way that is helpful. So they're low behavior and low results. So let's just pretend that we are going to rate employees, and we're going to decide what rating we're going to give people on this continuum. The person in the very top right-hand corner, we would say would get the 5. So the 5 is the highest level here. The person in this area of the continuum would get the 4 rating, and then the person in this part of the area where they're meeting the high expectations, they're going to probably get the middle rating or the level 3. Here's the person who is in the lower left-hand corner, but more towards the top. This person's going to probably be a 2, and the person who is in this space here is going to be a 1. So you can see we have our 5, 4s, 3s, 2s, and 1s. So here's where we run into trouble. When we start to look at the person who's in the upper left-hand corner and say 1 through 5, what are they going to get for a rating? We have lots of different answers. Well, this person should get a 3. And then I said, well, how can this person be a 3 if this person over here is a 3? Well, they should be a 4. How could this person be a 4 if the person over here is a 4? Oh, they should be a 2 because they have really bad behaviors. Well, how could this person be a 2 if this person's a 2? And then sometimes I hear from people, well, you have to take into account all of the things that they do, even though some of the behavior is off. And then I said, no, wait a minute. Didn't we say that those competencies in your organization are important, and they're pretty basic things, communication, teamwork, etc. And the question to ask people, is that for some people or is that for everyone? And so what we want to do is we see right here that the single rating system only works on the people in the diagonal here. And so the person in the upper left, what we would want to do is we would want to do a dual rating system. So they have 1 rating for what they accomplish and 1 rating for the behavior. So then that becomes simple. We can see that this person is a 5 in terms of the results results that they get, but they are a 1 in terms of the behavior. So when we have a dual rating system, it becomes a lot more obvious what somebody should get in terms of their rating. And I don't want to say to this person, you're a 3 or a 4. They really are a 5 in terms of what they're able to get done. But I also want to send the message that the behavior is really at the lowest possible level. And then we know from this is a little bit of a diagnostic. We know that we're going to use this to take the person and drive them over here. And we know it's some sort of a behavior that we need to have them focus on. And so there's more that happens in this work. But again, just looking at ratings, we can't use that 1 through 5 scheme because it doesn't describe everybody in our organization accurately. And we could use the dual rating where we have 5 different levels. I think what's even better is to use a rating scheme where you just plot people on the continuum, and you can do your calibrations, meaning that you can get other people to see where you've plotted your employees, and you can say to your boss, here is where I put the 5 people that report to me, what do you think? And then you start to have a conversation about it. But this approach gives a more holistic view to employee performance, and I hope that I've proved the point that the scale of 1 through 5 will never do what we want it to do. We need to look at a dual rating system, or we need to look at a rating system that is more picture oriented, like the Employee Performance Continuum.